ABC 7.
Beautiful night here at Wrigley Field and a big ball game. It is the rubber match of this three-game series and the final game of the season series between the top two teams in the National League Central. The Cubs have a two-game advantage over the Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome to Cubs baseball here on ABC 7. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. We're going to dive right in to the Goodwill pitching matchup as Kyle Hendricks will look for a win over Chase Anderson. Goodwill, amazing finds only at Goodwill.
Yeah, the body of work for Kyle Hendricks has been really good here of late. His last four starts, he has an ERA below 1.5. Since the break, he's made 10 starts, 5-2 with a 3.34. Right-hander Chase Anderson will go for the Brewers. He's had good numbers this year against the Cubs. Lifetime here at Wrigley Field, 2-2 with a 3.58.
Well, emotions running high, a lot of adrenaline during a pennant race. The Brewers took Game 1 Monday night. The Cubs returned the favor last night. We'll have Game 3 coming up next. On ABC 7 is being brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By U.S. Waterproofing, a better basement starts with us. By the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group, you're going to like buying a car this way. And by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And tonight's HD broadcast is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. JD, let's check out your Subaru keys. They are presented by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Yeah, well, we have a musical theme to our keys to the game tonight. New Kids on the Block. With Kyle Hendricks pitching, it'll be the first time a right-handed Cubs starter has faced the Brewers in these games last week and this. So we're going to get a little different look in the lineup tonight. Granderson's in there, Thames is in there, Sean Moustakas both in there tonight. A little different look for Craig Counsell as he'll lean to the left a little bit. Frankly, I think it's a little better lineup than when the Cubs have a lefty on the mound. ZZ top, Zozo top. So we're getting creative here. Ben Zobrist has outstanding numbers lifetime against Chase Anderson, the starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. He is, as a matter of fact, 9 out of 19 against them. That's a .474 batting average. He's also hit 3 home runs off of Chase Anderson, and Anderson has tied Tyler Anderson of the Rockies for the most home runs allowed in the National League this year. And our last one, 38 special. Chris Bryant, 37 plate appearances since coming off the disabled list, has yet to go deep. He will go deep tonight. It's going to happen.
Wow, that is very clever.
No, I don't know if it's very clever, but it's done.
Dion Miller is with us tonight. Let's check in with Dion.
Hey guys, well, as this series continues, it is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Day. Obviously, that's a cause that means a lot to a guy like Anthony Rizzo. But tonight, everybody is in gold. Everyone from players to umpires and the grounds crew wearing the gold ribbon decals to raise awareness for pediatric cancer, raising funds for that cause as well tonight. And today, David Bodie took it upon himself to visit with children in the hospital, took the names of each one of the patients that he visited and wrote them on his batting practice t-shirt saying, "I go gold for them." It is a special night for those kids, a special night for the Cubs to share as well.
Thank you, Dion. That is wonderful. Nice work, David Bodie. And Kyle Hendricks set to work against a different looking Brewers lineup tonight. Let's check it out. It's brought to you by Fix Auto. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX for the nearest location. Fix Auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident. Curtis Granderson gets his only start of the series. Yelich is in there, but he's in left to accommodate Granderson in right. Kane has had a huge series all the way around. Travis Shaw had never played second base before the middle of this season, but he's there tonight and cleaning up. Moustakas, Perez in for Arcia at short. Eric Thames making his first start in 10 days. Manny Pena, the catcher, and the pitcher Anderson hitting ninth.
Cubs defensively tonight. Chris Bryant again in left field. Albert Almora Jr. gets the start in center. Ben Zobrist is in right. Javi Baez plays third tonight. Addison Russell made one of the plays of the year last night. He's back out there at short. Murphy second. Rizzo first. Wilson Contreras is behind the plate, and Kyle Hendricks will take the mound sporting an 11-10 record, a 3.71 earned run average. This is start number 30 for him. 8-4 with a .298 lifetime against the Brewers. That's over 18 starts. Fastball, changeup, curveball. The offerings from Hendricks, real heavy changeup here of late.
He'll face the left-handed batting Curtis Granderson, and we're underway. First pitch strike from Kyle. Set your umpiring crew. Corey Blazer is behind the plate. Stu Sherwater at first. Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, at second, and Eric Cooper is over at third. 2-1 now on Granderson. He was acquired from Toronto, final day of August. And there's a graphic look at our umpiring crew. 2-2. Weather at first pitch, brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons. 72 with a slight breeze off the lake and a high deep drive out into left center. Almora back at the wall, and it's gone. A leadoff home run for Curtis Granderson. Granderson, now what are they saying? Did anybody call it? I don't think any umpire called it a home run. Granderson was rounding the bases as if it were a homer, and it might not have gotten out. I think it hit the rope and bounced twice on a yellow rope and then came back into play.
That's unbelievable.
This is incredible. We've seen it hit that yellow rope one other time this year, but never twice. In fact, somebody hit that post earlier this season. Now they're calling it a home run, but that'll be reversed, and Joe will ask them to look at it.
Yeah, this is just amazing. Once nobody gets a hand on it, that's just off the rope yet again. So that's going to be ball in play.
So what might end up happening, continuing our musical theme, is once, twice, three times a triple.
Could very well be, right? They could place him. I mean, normally you think on a ball like that you would think double, but they could put him at third base. They can use their judgment on a play like this.
When that throw came in, he was halfway to third.
Yeah, I think Albert, that's exactly what he's asking KB. Is that going to be a double or a triple?
So this is a crew chief review. Because it is a boundary call, the Cubs do not have to use a manager's challenge.
Yeah, you see some fans reaching for the ball there, but I don't believe anybody got a hand on it. It wasn't nudged back into play. It just took that second bounce off the rope.
So they will place Granderson at third. It's a triple. His first home run as a Brewer was a pinch hit home run a week ago tonight against the Cubs, and he just missed another one.
He has hit 331 home runs in his career, 7th among all active players. This time he'll have to settle for 3 bases. Cubs will keep the infield back. They'll trade a run for an out here in the top half of the first.
Christian Yelich fouls upstairs. He's got a 27 game on base streak. He's got the highest hard hit rate in the National League. Almost 51% of the balls he puts in play have been considered hard hit balls, and that's not a big surprise.
Now, he's always been a line drive hitter. He's hit the ball out of the ballpark more frequently this year than he has in the past. And I think a lot of that is due to the move from Miami to Milwaukee.
Kyle's 1-1 is a strike on the outside corner.
I'd love to get the punch out here. Change up down around the ankles, maybe even an elevated heater. They're going to go outside with something soft. Kyle's had first inning issues this year, not so much lately. I mentioned in our open a 1.44 ERA over his last 4 ball games.
Not deep. Here comes Almora, and it will be Russell, the shortstop, to make the catch, which is not ideal. Even though Granderson didn't go, you would always rather have the outfielder coming in make that play, with no harm, no foul.
Yeah, Albert was coming hard. He was in position where he would have been able to run Addy off. I just think he didn't want to create any kind of confusion for Russell, and I think it was shallow enough where Albert felt comfortable that Granderson wasn't going to score. It's a good look at there as you see Javi move into a cutoff position. Albert in hot pursuit. And if that's the second out, maybe Granderson gets real aggressive and tries to race home, but it's out number 1. He'll stay put. Now the Cubs will pull the infield in.
Against Lorenzo Cain, who has 5 hits so far in the series. Those coming from the leadoff spot. He is batting third tonight. And he's had a huge series not only with the bat, but with the glove as well. 18 games against Cubs pitching this season. Cain has reached base 32 times and has scored 10 runs. He's just about the only guy on this roster who has hit Cubs pitching this season. A lot of batting averages below 200 among the Brewer regulars against the Cubs. 1-1 to Cain is off the outside. That was a changeup. Hendricks trying to work around a leadoff triple by Granderson. The 2-1. And the Brewers will grab the early lead. Cain, and that ball gets past Almora, and Cain will round second. He's heading to third. It'll be an RBI single and an error on Almora. 1-0.
Cain with a good solid approach here, real quiet with the lower body, got a fastball right over the heart of the plate, and just a complete whiff by Albert out there in center field, and that's huge. He'll be forced to play the infield again as Cain makes it all the way to third base.
Infield has to stay in against Travis Shaw. So Aguilar 31 homers but has not hit one against the Cubs. Braun's 2 homers came in one game. Shaw at 143. Arce has had a tough time against everybody. Look at Yelich hitting 167. Curveball is outside, 1-1. We know Cubs shutout tonight. They had shut out Milwaukee 6 times previously. 1-2 to Shaw.
Chase Anderson, the starter for the Brewers tonight, was on the wrong end of a couple of those shutouts. It's been a low scoring season series between these two clubs.
A little bit in tight. Didn't miss by much.
Early on, some very cold days here at Wrigley back in April. No doubt influencing those numbers some, but pitchers have carried the day.
Two. He struck him out. That could be a big one. The infield can move back with 2 outs.
Good look at the circle change grip. Perfectly executed.
That will bring up the third baseman, Mike Moustakas. Monday had 2 hits, walked, scored a run.
Since joining the Brewers, he's batting .519 with runners in scoring position.
Hard hit ball. Russell, though, in the shift, playing right up the middle, and Hendricks is able to limit the damage. But the Brewers score 1, and the Cubs are coming up when we come back. Lineup: Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. It's Murphy, it's Bryant, it's Rizzo. If anybody reaches in the first, we'll see Ben Zobrist, who has great numbers against Anderson. Baez hitting fifth ahead of Almora, Contreras, Hendricks, and Russell. Chase Anderson was Milwaukee's opening day starter. Murphy swings away and elevates into left center, and Lorenzo Cain calling for it, and then he's got it.
Chase Anderson, 9 wins against 7 losses this year. He's making his 29th start, has an ERA of 3.95. The .226 batting average against is the 7th lowest in the National League. Those 29 home runs allowed, tied for the most given up in the NL. Fastball, changeup, curve, cutter, the mix from Anderson. Like Hendricks, he has a good changeup and will use it a good bit.
Works to Chris Bryant, and the first pitch is low.
He doesn't give up a lot of hits, but a number of them leave the ballpark. He has the lowest ground ball rate in the National League.
So I gather this is KB's 38th plate appearance.
Yeah.
Since coming back from the DL, you dropped a 38 special on us.
I just figure he's due. And the fact that Anderson's a fly ball pitcher, he's kind of a reverse split guy, a little bit better against lefties and righties.
2-1.
I'm not saying it has to happen in this plate appearance. It just fit
that
the
would be
theme
nice
with
to fit the theme.
38 special.
We're going to hold on loosely to that.
We'll go 39 steps, whatever whatever we need to do to make it work.
Count even, 2 apiece.
Anderson can touch 96 with the fastball, but you're typically going to see him right around 92.
This is his 29th start. Some DL time in May due to illness. And that is fouled out of play. I was looking at their DL stints this season. The Brewers have put 6 starting pitchers on the DL at one time or another. Jimmy Nelson, coming back from shoulder surgery, has missed all year. Zach Davies, Wade Miley, Anderson, Brent Suter, Junior Guerra have all had DL stints. So with that backdrop, the fact that they've gotten through this season, their starting pitching's been pretty good.
Yeah,
all things considered.
They've been able to piece it together. The Peralta kid came up and filled in for a while, did a nice job.
Full count on Bryant. In terms of starting pitching, the Cubs ranked 10th in the majors at 393. Milwaukee 11th, 395. Among National League teams, 6th and 7th. Ball 4.
Good work. Teaser, but it was down below the knees, and KB accepted his walk.
As Dion mentioned, gold, a personal meaning for Anthony Rizzo, cancer survivor. John Lester as well.
Has had virtually no luck against Chase Anderson, just 1 out of 18 against him.
He's also seeking his first hit of the series. Ain't that be it? No, it will hold up for Granderson. So Rizzo lines out. The guy guy with all kinds of success against Anderson. Walking up, Ben Zobrist.
A lot of hitting for either side in the ball game last night. Just 3 hits apiece. Cubs won 3-0. Zobrist reached down an air. Well, it could have been ruled a base hit. Stole a base, and then scored on from third base on an errant pickoff attempt at second base. Also made a very nice play in the field. Beefy.
Kick and the 0-1. A fly out in the deep center. Kane on the track. Started to learn his body language out there. When he starts to cruise like that, you know he's got it. And Zobrist flies to the warning track after an inning. And it's Milwaukee 1 and the Cubs nothing. Hernan Perez playing shortstop, batting 6th. Takes a Kyle Hendricks sinker for a strike. 1-0 Milwaukee early. On the ground, foul. Brewers got 1 in the first, and they had a runner at third with 1 out. Did not get that add-on run. Hands over his head, the 0-2. Bouncer to Murphy. And down.
Hey, Cub fans, everybody in. The Cubs need everyone's support during these final games of the regular season. Tickets are still available for Friday's series opener with the Reds. Visit Cubs.com before it's too late.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Eric Thames. No Aguilar tonight. Only action of the series for Thames. His first start since September 2nd. He began the year in a first base platoon with Ryan Braun and Aguilar. With 2 DL stints, left thumb, right hamstring, and hasn't played a whole lot lately.
Yeah, and Aguilar really stepping up, having a big year. Still some playing time away from Thames. You see the infield deployment.
StatCast AI powered by AWS as he swings over top a changeup. And 3 balls and a strike on Thames. What do we know about tomorrow? Well, the Cubs are flying to Washington, D.C. after the game tonight. They've got a scheduled 3:05 makeup contest against the Nationals. The game is still on at the regularly scheduled time. And the Cubs will head home to start a weekend series against the Reds Friday as Thames draws a 1-out walk. It will be Mike Montgomery against Joe Ross. Talked to Mike today. He took batting practice. He was the only starting pitcher to take BP, so he had a whole session to himself. And after he finished his work in the cage, he told me it's a really nice night to pitch.
Yeah, because you don't have to pitch tomorrow.
I think he meant the conditions, but
I'm thinking the starters, other than Montgomery, ought to just stay here.
I don't think the whole team is traveling. I think some of the starting pitchers not scheduled to work. If there's a bullpen arm that would be unavailable, that guy might have the option of not going. I think Kyle Schwarber, who's dealing with the back issue, will stay. Let's check in with Dion, who has more.
Guys, talking to Addison Russell before the game, he said he thinks that they're actually excited to play the game tomorrow. Said it will test us. He said throughout the season we've had a lot of adversity, and getting through it has paid off and made us stronger. And who doesn't want to be stronger in September, right?
Thank you, Dion. Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
I'd say that's a bunch of codswallop.
Well, it's 2 things, right? I think it's both. I think the Cubs are totally correct and have the right to say that this is a brutal stretch. Joe is more upset about having to have 30 straight days of scheduled games than anything about the weather tomorrow. And then the other part of it is it's out of your control. You just got to go play it.
And that's the point Addy was trying to make, and I agree with him. If you've got to go play, you might as well embrace it and go win, right? And that's what Joe was talking about yesterday, referring to Kenny Ravizza in his approach of keeping the switch on. It would be easy to get distracted, just complain, grouse about the fact that you have to make that trip and not be ready to play.
Baez up with it. Murphy, the turn, 5-4-3. Nice pick by Rizzo to complete it. We'll go to the last of the second. Big game tonight. Cubs have a 2-game lead over the Brewers in the division. Milwaukee leading 1-0.
making the right moves. Joe Madden certainly did last night, inserting Addison Russell into the field in the ninth, and he delivered some jaw-dropping defense. It is our Hooters Hot Play, brought to you by your Chicagoland area Hooters. The rob of the base hit right there of Ryan Braun, and then he turns the play at first, and David Bodie's reaction from the dugout, absolutely priceless. His jaw on the floor. Bodie told Russell afterwards that, hey, you got to be in awe of greatness, and Russell said, I'm actually in awe of his reaction, which got just as much love on social media as the play by Russell did. Pretty neat moment during this intense series, guys. The plays only get bigger this time of year, right?
Dion, I asked Addison, was that number one on your list? He said, I think the game-ending play, the diving play against the Cardinals 2 years ago, we flipped the ball to second, was probably number one. And yeah, to end the game, that's probably the right answer.
Just spectacular. He made in San Diego a couple years ago. He made a play on a line drive, and he made another one running down the line. You know, you put together quite a highlight package. Obviously, he's one of the best in the business, and let's not forget the Rizzo end of that play too. I mean,
great
my
stretch.
goodness.
Speaking of
this one nimble, large human.
Speaking of human highlight reel, Javier Baez takes outside, 2 balls and a strike. He's hitting 5th tonight. Brewers won a tight one on Monday, 3-2. The Cubs 3-0 last night. 3-1.
Yeah, Javi's shown pretty good patience here of late, taking some walks.
High heat, and Baez swings and fouls back. I send out happy birthday wishes to Jack Hinterlong, here celebrating with family. Big crowd here at Wrigley tonight on a gorgeous evening. Count holding.
Anderson getting to 94 with that fastball. Little action moving in on the hands of Baez. You think right-handed pitcher, you're going to see strike to ball slider at some point, but that's not a big part of the arsenal of Anderson. He's more likely to go elevated heater or curveball for Chase. That time he tried a change up and couldn't get Javi to bite. He accepts another walk.
And the batter is Almora. And the lead man at first. Cardinals lost earlier today. They dropped to 4 games out. And 2 behind Milwaukee in the wild card race. There goes Baez, swing and a miss on a hit run, and Javi is out. And he is not asking the dugout for a replay.
This combination is tough to run on. Anderson pretty quick to the plate, and Pena has caught 41%. And well above league average. Almora comes up empty on the hit and run play, so Baez has to try to do the little swim move there to avoid the tag.
Still was closer than it probably should have been because of his acrobatic work, but Shaw did get him.
Yeah, if you're a middle infielder, if you're making the tag on that play, you have to go get the base runner. You can't wait.
0-1 to Albert. He went, his hands went through. It's 0-2. Has got up slowly. Granderson in right. 2 hands on it. And 2 down. Now the out of town scoreboard. It is brought to you by Dodge. The Dodgers finally beat the Reds. Mentioned the Pirates over the Cardinals. Nationals leading at Philadelphia. Phillies really taking on water. I guess literally and figuratively this week. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
So Strasburg-Nola matchup, Nationals Phillies. Nola has given up 4 through 5.
I mentioned Joe Sheehan yesterday. He had another note today that no team has won a World Series without beating every club in its own league. That was about the Dodgers. They finished their season series now 1-6 against the Reds. Thought that was a pretty intriguing note.
It's high time somebody do it.
Also, congratulations to the Cubs Northwest League affiliate, the Eugene Emeralds. They beat Spokane last night in a game-ending balk, and they are the Northwest League champions after having the worst record in the regular season. Stephen LaRue is their manager, and they ran the table in the playoffs. They won all 5 games they played in the postseason. I don't believe they won 3 in a row during the regular season. And I love the celebration. Absolutely love the reaction.
Walk-off balk. That's how a team that had the worst record in the league should win a championship, on the walk-off balk.
Two on Wilson Contreras. Step out.
What's going on here, boys? It's like 2 overly polite people trying to walk through a doorway at the same time. No, you go. No, you go. Now you.
No swing.
See a little more flex in the knees for Wilson in the stance. He looks a little different. Trying to preload into that back leg a little bit. On the grind for him. Try to make a little tweak here and there.
Well, speaking of the Emeralds, I was chatting with Cubs assistant hitting coach Andy Haynes, former minor league coach and manager, and he actually had Christian Yelich in the Marlins system, and he said that group of guys, Marcelo Ozuna was one of them. He said they won together through the system, and he believes that is important to win at the minor league level, even though you're developing. As Contreras draws the walk, and that'll get Hendricks to the plate.
3rd walk issued by Anderson tonight. Yeah, that's not all walks are created equal. That 2-out walk with the pitcher coming up next, that's a bad one. You want to be aggressive there. I'd love to have the pitcher leading off the next inning.
That is a base hit into left. Kyle Hendricks keeps the line moving with 2 outs. His 4th hit of the season.
Two-seam fastball, entered 3rd, gets on top of it, hits it with enough authority to get it through the hole on the left side, and opportunity to make Anderson pay for his sins here. Leadoff walk and a 2-out walk issued by Anderson. See if Addy can make him pay.
To Russell. So the Cubs have the makeup game in Washington, and they're back home this weekend to play the Reds. The Brewers will head home tonight They are off tomorrow. They've got a homestand starting Friday night. 3 against the Pirates, 3 versus Cincinnati. Their final road trip will take them to Pittsburgh and St. Louis, and then they have the final 3 games of the season hosting the Tigers. So the Cardinals, their final week of the season, will host Milwaukee and then play the Cubs here at Wrigley Field. And we'll see how important those games will be for all the teams involved. Derek Johnson out to the mound for an early visit.
Folks, you can now watch every remaining ABC7 broadcast of Cubs baseball on Facebook Live, presented by BioFreeze, the official external pain reliever of the Chicago Cubs. Check out tonight's broadcast right now at facebook.com/Cubs. Anderson really struggling with his release point right now, having a hard time finding the zone, so he's ripe. You don't want to get passive here. He makes a mistake in the zone and you can jump all over it. This is his 4th start against the Cubs this year. The previous 3 really good. 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs the last time they faced him.
Cut the miss. It's 2-1. Popped up near the Brewer dugout, and Thane's got a glove on it, but he couldn't haul it in.
Quite tentative.
Yep.
He had room to make that play if he gets over there to the barrier a little bit more quickly. So he had another step in him, and I guess the tough part of that play is there was no barrier there. He was in the opening to the dugout, so that makes it a little more problematic.
Another chance for Russell. Driven out into deep right. Granderson will get there. Russell hit a blast the other way, and the Cubs strand a couple. Trail 1-0. 7 is being brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company. By Insure on the Spot. For quality insurance you can afford, head to insureonthespot.com. By Lakeside Bank, personal customized banking. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And by Auto Barn Alfa Romeo in Evanston. For the largest selection on new Alfa Romeos, shop the Auto Barn Alfa Romeo in Evanston. And wake up tomorrow with ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Barron, and meteorologist Tracy Butler gets you ready for the week with the latest news, weather, and traffic. One nothing Milwaukee. The pitcher Anderson, final starting player to get his first at bat, takes a strike. 4 out of 34 on the season. Kyle from Southern California. Anderson, a native Texan.
Wichita Falls for Anderson. He went on to play his college ball at University of Oklahoma. Hendricks matriculated to Dartmouth. You have to say matriculated when it's an Ivy League school. You just don't attend or go there. You matriculate.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Folks, still time to plan a group outing for games during the final week of the regular season. The Cubs offer ticket packages that include special perks for groups of 15 or more. To book your group experience, visit Cubs.com/groups.
Cubs announced Yu Darvish had an elbow procedure done today. Debridement. They just went in and cleaned up some stuff.
Doesn't change his timetable.
Curtis Granderson with a rare start is 2 for 2. He tripled to open the game and now singles here in the third.
A couple curveballs his first at bat. Tried another one here. Stayed up above the knees and he was able to get through it and deliver a solid line drive. So curveball must be the scouting report on Granderson. You see Hendricks heavy sinker changeup and the curveball more of just an 0-0 pitch. It's based on his usage with Granderson. I think the book on him says to spin it a little bit more.
Here's a pitch to Yelich. That one swatted into right. Anderson will stop at second. Back-to-back one-out singles.
Yelich going early. He's been very successful attacking that first pitch.
Here comes Kane, 1 for 1 with an RBI.
Baseball America recently did their annual Best Tools survey. They survey managers, executive scouts. Kyle Hendricks was deemed to have the best changeup in the National League.
Was Baez on there for?
Baez was best infield arm.
Okay.
He was also most exciting player. Jason Hayward was voted best outfield arm. Craig Counsell was voted best manager. And Joe Madden finished second in the survey for best manager.
2 strikes to Kane. Hayward on the DL with a hamstring injury and working his way back. Pop up over behind the tarp and about 4 rows back. Now the National League batting leaders brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. This is up to date. 3 of the top 4 in the ballpark, and we'll see Scooter Gennett here on Friday. Gennett had a huge season series against the Dodgers. He was hitting like over 700 going into play today. Base hit. Granderson to third. Ed Cedar will put on a stop sign, so 3 consecutive singles. And it will bring up Shaw, who struck out with a man at third, less than 2 outs in the first inning.
Kane constantly on base this year in games against the Cubs.
Yeah, that is the 34th time he's been on in 19 games.
Not a bad pitch. See how quiet he is with the lower body with 2 strikes. Keeps the head still. Uses the hands.
Scooter Gennett this year against the Dodgers, including today, in 6 games went 17 for 26. That's a .654 batting average. A double, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Is that good?
That's pretty darn good.
Cubs would love to turn 2 here. Baez off the line, but in at third against Shaw, who takes outside.
Strikeout victim first time. And it came with 1 out and a man on third, so he's got a chance at redemption here. They got him to chase a changeup.
Wide again, 2-0. We talked about Kyle's changeup. He gets a lot of called strikes. He has the highest called strike rate among starters. That is hit foul. We've talked over the years about the soft contact induced. As when he's at his best, he stays off the barrel of the bat.
Yeah, in 2 ways. Movement to the edges with his sinker, and then of course the really good changeup gets the hitters caught in between. Off stride. A lot of guys out on that front foot. The weight's not behind it. They're not able to drive the ball, so it's a little rollover ground ball or lazy pop up. At times this year, especially first innings, he's had issues with just making some mistakes with his fastball over the heart of the plate.
2-2.
So this is where you have to make a decision as a pitcher and catcher. He struck him out with a changeup last time. Just had a weak hack at another one here. So are you of the mind that he's just not seeing it out of the hand and just throw him another one, or do you think he's going to finally stay back and maybe you can jam him with a heater?
Big 2-2 from Kyle. Line drive. Almora's got it. Run's going to score. Throw goes back toward the middle, and it's a sacrifice line out for Travis Shaw and a 2-0 Milwaukee lead.
Yeah, they went back with the changeup. Looked like it stayed up a little bit. To me, he was starting to leak. He was out in front of it, but because the pitch was up, he was able to put a pretty decent swing on it.
So Shaw able to cash in this time, even though he made it out. Now it's Moustakas with runners at first and second, and he pops it up, and it will reach the seats. Now, Hendricks' first inning ERA going into play tonight was 7.45, with under 3 in the second and beyond. Hughes shot. Nice play, Baez, man. He played goalie there to make sure that ball wasn't going to get past him. And the inning is over, but 3 hits and another run. It's 2-0 Milwaukee in the third.
Meteorologist Cheryl Scott, Larry Mowry, Tracy Butler, and Phil Schwartz alert you first to changing conditions and severe weather. ABC 7 Eyewitness News, your AccuWeather station. There's a big storm heading towards the East Coast.
Yeah, the Marlins, I don't think they've played a game since Saturday. Does that sound right? And they're trying to get a doubleheader in against the Mets in New York. They haven't even started game one, and they're at the point, Ken Davidoff just tweeted that they'll just try to get one game in tonight. Ken writes for the New York Post, tweeting that if they get one in tonight, they'll still play a doubleheader tomorrow. They've been waiting over 5 hours to get the doubleheader started. Two-one on Murphy. And his line foul to left.
Anderson has to feel like he's gotten away with something here tonight with the 3 walks already. He's given up some hard contact with men on base. Rizzo, Zobrist in the first inning. Russell in the second. The Cubs have not been able to score yet. That's the bottom line. So as a starting pitcher, your mindset is, okay, I've been lucky. Now I got to be good.
Cubs have already clinched the season series. They've won 11 of the 18. Murphy strikes out on a foul tip. That's number 1 for Anderson. Final game tonight, although we could very easily see these two teams matching up in the playoffs. As it stands right now, 3 teams out of this division could make it. What we got going on here? Assistance with the hair around the ears. That's a base hit for Bryant.
Two reaches.
Yep, he's been on both times, and it will bring up Rizzo.
Yeah, they had the overload there on the left side of the infield. Still managed to get it through there with a solid line drive.
Runner at first, 1 out. Cubs trail 2-0. Missed wide. So we are hearing Friday afternoon's game is going to be moved back. And will be played under the lights. Expect an official release here in the next few minutes. So if you have a ticket for Friday's game, that will not be a 1:20 start. Looking at 7:05. We've got a 3 o'clock game on Saturday. So that'll just give the Cubs a little breathing room as they make their way home from DC tomorrow night. I think that's the right call. Control what you could control, right? If you can move the start time back at home, do it.
What are we, 4:05? First pitch tomorrow, Eastern time?
Eastern, 3:05 Central. I know who will love that the most. You know who I'm thinking of?
No.
The manager. If Joe had his way, every game, all 162 would start at 7:05. He likes night games. Well, maybe not all of them, like Sunday day games, but
he's not a morning guy.
no, I'm not either. I'm with him on that. I do like 120s here, especially once we're here and we're ready to go. Swing and a miss. Rizzo strikes out. And it will be up to Ben Zobrist. He just missed a home run his first time up. A deep fly out to the track in left center. It's a strike, and this stat of the game is brought to you by Mattress Firm, where your budget stretches further. So Zobrist 79 points ahead of last season. And now it's official. Friday's game will start at 7:05. Gates will open approximately 2 hours before the start of the game. No ticket exchange is necessary if you're coming on Friday.
So, Xfinity strike zone. That last one almost missed the graphic, and almost like a pitch out. Feels so good, feeling good again for Ben Zobrist. 37. He's obviously a candidate for the comeback player of the year with a big jump in performance. The wrist is healthy. I think Joe's done a really good job resting him, keeping him sharp.
That'll be a challenge here the next week or so. We thought an off day tomorrow, and Joe could give Zoe the day off tomorrow if he wanted to, but he would rather not take his bat out of the lineup.
Well, and you rest the guys throughout the season, so you can push a little bit harder towards the end of the year. That's not to say he won't get another off day the rest of the way, but that's the value of taking those back-to-back opportunities, shutting a guy down, and giving him a chance to recharge mentally.
It goes on 3-2, and that ball hit well, and another one caught. So Anderson has been giving up some rockets. Most, if not all, have been caught so far tonight. 2-0 Brewers after 3. Brought to you by Four Winds Casinos, your entertainment escape. Hernan Perez with a foul into the upper deck as we start the fourth inning. Hendricks to the plate. Cold foul on the ground.
So for the third consecutive day, we were playing the most important game of the season. We have, right, 16 or 17 of those before we wrap this up. Who knows what lies ahead?
Juan Soto has homered again. He hit 2 last night in game 2 of their doubleheader, including the game winner in extras. He has homered again tonight. The Nationals have won 4 in a row, and they lead at Philadelphia.
Braves won their ball game today. They now have a 7-game cushion over the Phillies. The biggest lead they've had. They've won 5 in a row. They're in pedal to the metal mode.
Yeah, they beat the Giants, who've lost 11 straight. Called strike 3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Dapper gentleman. There's the NL East. The Braves beating the Giants, sweeping that series. The Giants have scored a grand total of 26 runs during their 11-game losing streak, and they got 8 in one of those ball games. They scored just a single run in each of the 3 games against Atlanta. Scored 8 runs total in the 3-game set with the Brewers. They could take BP in the hotel lobby and not break a window.
Soft ground ball to the shortstop, Russell. There's Manny Pena.
Brewers, I believe, have 36 on their roster right now. Look like a platoon with their bullpen guys heading out to the pen before the game, and we'll see how many are jammed into that dugout. Probably get dressed in shifts in the visiting clubhouse.
The dugout is bigger than the old one. It still is packed.
Okay, A through M, you guys get the clubhouse for 20 minutes to get dressed, and the rest of you can come in and
yeah, guys are sharing lockers based on service time, from what I read.
Yeah, that normally happens in a lot of clubhouses at this time of year, where the rookies will be doubled up. And certainly here at the visiting side at Wrigley, it's old school, still pretty tight.
Could you imagine having a roommate on the road these days?
Oh my goodness. It used to be the case when I first came into the league. Rookies had a roommate.
Pena's bat goes flying into the net as he strikes out. And Kyle hopefully settling in. A 1-2-3 4th. It's 2-0 Brewers. Clips Haircuts. Check in online at sportclips.com/check-in and claim your spot today at any of the over 90 Chicagoland locations. For bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Milwaukee. All one. So either Anderson will start missing the barrel a little bit, and some balls are going to start dropping in, you'd think. Another ball struck well, and it is caught.
Yeah, so far it's been one of those nights. The Cubs are having really good plate appearances for the most part. They get a pitch to hit, they're putting a good swing on it, but the results just haven't been there.
Do you see a ground ball out? I don't think I see one.
No. Nope. A couple of punch outs. Everything else has been in the air. One caught stealing on the busted hit and run play. Sign issue here. Pena, the way he caught those last two pitches, was expecting something else. Certainly with the first one. There's the distribution of outs. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting flyouts versus groundouts, but a lot of the balls in the air against him have been hit really sharply. I was talking with Scott Bradley, former big league player and a current head baseball coach at Princeton University. When we were in D.C. last time, he coached Will Venable at Princeton, among others, and one of the others was Chris Young. Remember Chris Young, the right-hander?
Yeah, he played two sports too, didn't he?
Yeah, he liked Will. He was a basketball, baseball guy. And Scotty was saying that Chris used to take umbrage with being defined as a fly ball pitcher. He goes, I'm a pop-up pitcher. So when I'm doing my job right, that elevated fastball, I'm getting lazy little pop-ups on the infield or shallow fly balls.
His fly ball pitcher was a pejorative for him, right?
Yeah.
He wanted this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he thought by being defined as a fly ball pitcher, people would be of the mind that he was giving up balls off the wall or over the wall. You see the low batting average against with Anderson. That's typically the case. Balls in the air turn into outs more often than balls on the ground do. Typically, there's more slugging than balls on the air.
Leave the ballpark.
Yeah.
The semantic game is funny. He was a pitching coach. I can't remember who. I said the word throwing at one point. He said it's pitching, it's not throwing. So just erase that from
pitch the baseball
from the language. Yeah. Who's throwing tonight? No, who's pitching tonight?
Throwing, a physical act. Pitching implies the art, the ability to change speeds, locate, create movement.
Well, I have a little joke with Jim Hickey on a radio pregame show. I once said, what are you hoping to get out of? He said, we don't hope around here. We expect. And this is what we think we'll get. You don't live on hope. And as Almora strikes out. Early action out. And Brewer bullpen, Jacob Barnes. This definitely has a playoff feel to it. Anderson has been hit hard here, and it'll be all hands on deck. They have that off day tomorrow.
Craig Counsell more than willing to play the matchup game as this game moves along. It's a big game for both clubs, obviously. Probably a little bit bigger for the Brewers.
Pitch to Contreras is a strike call. Again, Friday's game here will start at 7:05 p.m., not at 1:20. Cubs just made that announcement. The game time will be pushed back on Friday against the Reds. Brewers got their runs in the first and the third. A spot start for Curtis Granderson, and he's got a triple, a single, and 2 runs. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Yeah, that glove side changeup is becoming quite a weapon for Anderson as this game goes along. Tough pitch to execute, but starting to get the feel for it away from the right-handed hitters.
Big night for Victor Caratini last night, as he went 2 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and he caught a shutout. And he is certainly earning a little more playing time.
Yeah, well, and that coupled with the struggles of Contreras, whose name is being called more often.
There you see why he's getting some more at bats. Anderson's 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Cubs go in order for the first time tonight. 2-zip Milwaukee in the rubber match. Is brought to you by Muller Honda. Right now at MullerHonda.com you can shop for over 750 cars with 2 great locations to choose from. MullerHonda.com. Interesting move by Craig Counsell. He's taking Chase Anderson out after 4 innings. Tyler Saladino will bat for him. So Anderson, 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 71 pitches, will not qualify for the win. And the Brewers will ask their bullpen to cover the final 5 innings. There's the 0-1 to Saladino. It's a strike.
Well, he's got a lot of bodies out there, and he's got some guys that have been really throwing the ball well of late. So it's just a trust issue. He has a lot of confidence in his bullpen. He doesn't want to give any Cub hitters a third look at his starter.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 6 straight retired by Kyle.
Folks, check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer, like an all-inclusive suite experience. Daily suite rentals are available for the final 2 weekend matchups with the Reds and the Cardinals. To reserve space, visit Cubs.com/premier. We suggest you act quickly.
So in those 4 innings, every out recorded by Anderson was either a strikeout or in the air. Anderson's had a big game.
Yeah, and it looked like Anderson was really starting to hit his groove too. It's going to change the game plan for Craig Counsell.
I'm sure that's a big part of the reason why Counsell's making this change.
Yeah, I think he just script the game. He probably said, look, if I've got a lead going into the middle innings, I've got 11 right-handers and 3 left-handers out there in the bullpen. Mix and match the rest of the way and hope to have that lead in the 6th. I'm assuming Hader's a go tonight.
Yeah, you would think he is.
Yeah, the magnitude of this game.
Off.
Josh Hader, the left-handed weapon out there in the pen, pitched 2 innings in game 1 of this series and struck out 6.
Anderson got hit, so he's been on all 3 times. And we'll bring up Yelich.
Trying to throw that 2-seam, run back to the inside corner fastball, and just never took the break.
Fouls out of play.
It's like he's really trying to stay inside the ball and get the ball airborne. And for a guy who has done as much damage as he has, and he's had a great year, he hits it on the ground a lot. So when he hits it in the air, it's usually with authority.
That's Brian Dunsing in the Cubs bullpen.
Cubs got 6 2/3 out of Jose Quintana last night. Limiting the amount of work the bullpen had to do, and they were good. Wilson, De La Rosa, and Stroke got the job done.
Line drive, Almora makes the catch. Nice sliding grab by Albert. And he robs Yelich. 2 outs.
Keen concentration as he locks in on that sinking line drive.
No starter likes to get pulled before 5 innings in and qualifying for a win, especially with a shutout. But everything changes in September and beyond. Ground ball backhanded Murphy. Russell at the bag. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 2-0 Milwaukee. time.
This is a hard-throwing right-hander Jacob Barnes working for the 44th time, 3.40 earned run average. Big heater, hard slider.
Tommy LaStella will bat for Hendricks. Here's the pitch. It's a strike.
Hendricks settled in nicely. It looked like he could have gotten a couple scoreless innings as well beyond what he did here tonight, but the Cubs are down 2, so Joe's hand forced a little bit. Get a little something going here with one of the best pinch hitters in the game.
He'll be cut off by Perez, and the throw gets away and out of play, and LaStella will end up at second. So he cut in front of Shaw, who was not playing that ball very aggressively, and they don't make a play.
Yeah, well, that's the other part of it. We'll watch Craig Counsell here tonight, what he does with his position players. At what point does he go for defense instead of offense? Because this lineup was geared to score runs. It doesn't have his best defensive team on the field here tonight. Perez traveling a long, long way to cut that ball off in front of Shaw, who didn't really give Perez that many choices because Shaw should have been more aggressive in pursuit of that one himself.
So a hit and an error.
You can hang a little culpability on both of those guys on that play.
Here's Russell. Runner at second, nobody out. The door has opened here in the 5th. Called strike. $20 errors now made by the Brewers defense in this season series. Overall this season they've been pretty good. 0-2.
Find a way down 2 strikes to at least advance LaStella here. He was thinking bunt initially. Probably should have went ahead and bunted that first one if that's what he was thinking. This will do it.
Yep. He will advance Tommy, and Shaw's throw is in time to get Russell.
Obviously very important, especially with Murphy coming up, a guy who's very adept at quote unquote moving the baseball, as Joe likes to say. Here we go.
This call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Right-hander Corey Knebel, who has been lights out since returning from the minor leagues.
Overall, a 4.50 ERA for Knebel this year. It was sub-2 last season.
Infield back, accepted third, runner at third, one out, and Murphy fouls.
Recalled on September 2nd. He has pitched in 5 ball games, retired all 15 men he has faced, 10 via the strikeout.
I like having Murphy in this spot. Trying to put a ball in play as that pitch is knocked down by Pena.
Knebel 39 saves last year, 15 this season, and now Jeremy Jeffress gets most of the save opportunities. But a guy who's accustomed to pitching in high leverage situations.
1-1. Now 1-2.
Becomes a mid-game closer, a guy you like having out there facing the best hitters in the other club's lineup. You can move past him onto Hader and then Jeffress. I'm sure that's what Counsell has in mind here. Maybe plug in an arm or two in between for an out. But that's the way he's got this thing scripted.
Here comes a 1-2. Popped him up. This is going to be a huge out for Knebel. And Stella can't go anywhere. So 2 retired. It's Chris Bryant.
Man on third, less than 2 out situation. The 2 guys you probably want up there, Zobrist, Murphy. Again, Knebel is better than the average bear. That elevated cutter right in on the hands of Murphy.
That win for Atlanta knocks their magic number down to 11. If the Phillies lose tonight, it would be 10 in the East. A little too early to really talk magic numbers for the Cubs. That's a blast. It is off the wall. He just missed a homer. He ties at least gets the Cubs on the board with a double. La Stella's in. It's 2-1. Finally, a line drive falls in.
Just not enough air under this one, but a real pretty swing. It's down and through and delivers this bolt off the wall. Just, well, that hit the basket.
It did.
Wow.
Another rarity. I mean, he missed a homer by inches.
Yeah.
Rizzo now with a tying run at second. That run charged to Barnes. Strike called. Cubs will head to DC with either a 1 or a 3-game lead. Past Knebel. Perez will scoop the throws in time. The Cubs do get the 1 run. And we head to the 6th. It's now a 2-1 ball game. Bank, Lakeside Bank, it's about time. It is left-hander Randy Rosario.
Randy out for the 37th time. League bats .250 against him, .335 the ERA. First appearance in this series. This worked on Saturday in Washington. Allowed 4 runs, 2 earned in the third of an inning. Fastballs and sliders.
Travis Shaw high in the air, playable. It is Zobrist from right.
Shaw, Moustakas both left-handed, then Perez, and after Perez another left-handed bat in Eric Thames. So Rosario gets the call. Craig Counsell opts to stay with his left-handed bats.
Moustakas, ball 1. Cubs get on the board in the 5th to make it a 1-run game. That run charged to Jacob Barnes. Brewers helping out with an error.
The infield hit and a throwing error on a ball that should have just been an out.
A 3-0, and he swung away and he missed ball 4. And Moustakas shaking his head. Like one of those free agents who had to wait and wait and wait. He hit a career high 38 home runs, a Royals Club record last year. He had to wait until March to re-sign with Kansas City. Turned down the qualifying offer, which was over $17 million to hit the market. He returned on a 1-year deal for $5.5 before being traded here to Milwaukee in late July.
Might cause you to lose a little sleep. That decision.
Mutual option for next year, $15 million. On the left center, Almora on the move. He dives. He caught it. Almora takes away a hit from Moustakas.
They got Yelich last inning with a sinking line drive in front of him. This time a sprint into the alley in left center. He goes airborne to haul it in.
Perez, the shortstop, with 2 outs. Milwaukee's last hit was a Lorenzo Cain single in the 3rd. Red Sox a winner tonight, their 100th win. It is their first 100-win season since 1946. Alex Cora, the first manager to win 100 as a rookie since Dusty Baker in 1993 with the Giants. Today's hot and cold players brought to you by Plumbers 911. Call day or night at 1-833-PLUM 911. Plumbers 911, your plumbing connection. Now, note on Gio Gonzalez. He made his Brewer debut the other day in a win. As that's going to be a tough play, and Baez will throw wildly. Should have held on. And Perez will end up probably at 3rd. So a single and an error on Baez. This is the kind of game where guys might be trying a little too hard to make a play.
Well, his body language as he made the throw, you know, was kind of like, I probably shouldn't be trying this, but what the heck, I'm going to give it a shot. Anthony was, again, so nimble over there, did everything he could to try to knock this ball down.
There are 2 outs, and here is Thames. Gio Gonzalez made his Brewer debut on Saturday. 5 2/3, 1 unearned run to beat the Giants. And he will pitch on Friday against Chris Archer as they host Pittsburgh in Milwaukee. Two strikes on Thames. Called strike 3. Rosario works around the hit, an error. Man stranded at third, bottom 6. Still 2-1 Brewers.
Right now, save 50% on all energy efficient windows. Call 866 for Feldco today. How about Albert Almora Jr. flying around out there making plays?
He's due up third here in the 6th against Corey Knebel. And a strike to Zobrist. To assume Thames took that at bat because Joe had Jesse Chavez up in the bullpen. We get to this point in September, in this part of the ball game, you almost have to have a guy up in the bullpen to give the manager on the other side notice that if you use a pinch hitter, I've got a counter.
Yeah, so you know, as the manager of the team hitting, you know, you're not likely to get the platoon advantage. So what right on right or left on left matchup do you prefer?
Rosario Thames, or let's say Chavez Aguilar, Chavez brawn, something like that. Now, if it were 2-1 Cubs, that might have changed Craig Counsell's thinking.
And the other part of it too is, as this game moves along, he knows when Joe gets into the later innings, he's more likely to deal with Chavez, Cishek, Strop, say, than some of the other lefties out there. So he's going to want to keep his left-handed bats in the game, as long as they're not liabilities defensively.
2 bounces to Thames. He'll feed the pitcher, Knebel. Now the upcoming Cubs schedule brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. A little detour in this homestand. The Cubs have to head back to Washington after the rain out on Sunday. And then a night game. Note the start time. That game on Friday against the Cincinnati Reds has been pushed back to 7:05 Central. You've got a ticket for Friday. That'll work for the 7:05 start. 3:05 on Saturday, 1:20 on Sunday. And it's back to the road.
Yeah, it just feels like one real long road trip now with this makeup game in Washington after starting the last road trip with the makeup game in Atlanta. The road goes on forever and the party never ends.
Fouled to the top of the screen. It's 0-2 to Baez.
Gio could get a little bump, change the scenery bump, moving from rough situation in Washington, a team with high expectations that struggled, joining this team in a pennant race. Certainly did his first start. People got away with one there. You see Pena, a little look of disgust on his face as he looks out at the young right-hander, as if to say, come on, man, that ball needs to be up above my mask.
Oh, yeah, that's often Javi's happy zone. Big buzz in the ballpark. 40,234. And 1-2, and Baez held up, pointed at first for good measure.
Another one. He got Pena's attention. He's going to walk this one halfway out to the mound. Catcher as coach. Hey man, let's make sure you put it in the right spot. He's gotten away with a couple fastballs that were supposed to be way up, and they were more middle.
Mora next in line.
Let's see if he can complete the bottom of the cup on the little dipper there.
Swing and a miss. That pitch looked like it backed up.
Yep,
pitchers do get away with that one.
Yep, the bad pitch, good result, breaking ball, especially after all those fastballs. The spike grip on the curveball, it's up, it looks enticing, but it's in, and you got to pull the hands in to try to get the barrel there.
with 2 outs. Takes a strike. Game is over in Philadelphia. The Nationals beat the Phils. It's their 5th straight win. Within a half game of the Phillies per second in the East. Right now well out of the playoff picture. They won't even have to fly home, right? They'll just jump on a bus or a
train, yeah.
From Philly to DC.
Or ARC.
Right after Portage. Morris strikes out. Knebel goes 1-2-3 in the 6th. It is a tight one tonight. 2-1 Brewers after 6. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. It is right-hander Jesse Chavez against Manny Pena. 2-1 Milwaukee.
For the season, a 2.85 ERA for Jesse. 54 appearances as a Cub. 1.55 earned run average. This is the 25th time he'll pitch in a Cub uniform.
And fouled away. Hey, Kevin Hart is here.
I am. I'm up here with y'all hanging out, man.
Award-winning actor, comedian, and great to have you here at Wrigley Field.
And sex symbol. We forgot that.
Sorry.
Yes, model.
I didn't read the whole
hand
intro.
model, exactly. If we're going to be specific, hand model.
And strike on Pena. Ground ball rolled right to Russell. How about this atmosphere tonight? Packed house. You got a great ovation when you threw out the first pitch.
Correction, when I threw out that heat is what it's been referred to.
Well, here we go. Let's check out the heat right here, man. Let's.
Woo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at me. 317. 317 miles per hour right there. Wow.
Domingo Santana will pinch hit. So you've got a film coming out called Night School.
Yes, sir.
That will be in theaters in a couple weeks, September 28th. Tell
Yes,
us
sir.
about it.
Well, I can tell you that it's funny. How do I know that? Well, because I'm in it. That's why. Myself, Tiffany Haddish, we lead the way in a very, very fun-filled comedy. It's a movie about second chances where adults basically have to go back to night school and try to redo the things that they didn't do the first time, which is get the education right. But as a band of misfits band together, they realize the best thing they can use is each other, motivate, inspire one another to do the right thing, ultimately get that piece of paper, which is a diploma, that gives them the feeling that they can do whatever they put their mind to in life. It's a real good movie. I think it's a movie that a lot of people are going to relate to. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to love. They're going to walk away with a different understanding and realizations of the gem. I put gems in movies, so that's what I do. Gems. And I throw heat. 317 miles per hour. You saw it.
Outside on Granderson. Well, we have a gym sitting right next to you.
GYM,
You
you
should
put
put
a
gym in
gym,
your
and there's a gym in the movie?
Yeah, well, my gym is G-E-M. Gym.
Gym.
Yeah, gym.
1-0 on Granderson. After the Santana pinch hit.
Balls don't come up here, do they?
Rarely.
Almost never.
Very rarely.
Almost never. A little bit to the right sometimes,
Yeah.
or right below us sometimes, but you're
It's
good.
like
you're okay.
This
You're not gonna
open
have to-
space just
yeah.
doesn't have me
No.
feeling the safest.
No, you're gonna
right
be
now.
okay.
Okay. Last thing I want to do is
We got you
get
covered.
knocked out by a pitch while I'm
Yeah,
up here
just-
talking about my film. That's not good. That's not good.
Don't lean out over in case one comes.
Got it.
Okay.
Don't invite the balls to my face. I got it. Okay. That's good.
Kick in the 1-1 is low. So I understand you're a marathoner.
I am, man. I am.
And you're doing the Chicago Marathon coming up?
It's coming up October 7th. I'm excited. These little legs were meant for running, and that's just what I'm going to do. And one day, I'm going to run all over you. I just made that up, sir. I just made that up. As you can see, I'm still on a high from my 317 mile per hour pitch. Oh, my God.
2 down.
I've been hearing murmurs of a 10-day contract. They've been talking about signing me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an NBA thing.
Huh?
That's an NBA thing.
Says who?
I don't think that's a baseball thing, but we could talk to some people for you. Maybe
There's a
make that
10-day
happen.
DL. Maybe we can have a
That
10-day
just
Because
means-
that speed, we could use another pinch runner if
That just means that you guys don't know the people that I was talking to. People that I was talking to.
they were on board.
Yeah, they were talking to me about 10-day. Okay? It's the truth.
2 outs. Here's Yelich.
I wouldn't lie to y'all. It's the truth.
So you did the New York Marathon. What was your time?
I finished in 4 hours. 4 hours and I think 1 minute.
Wow.
4:01, 4:02.
Excellent.
This year the goal is to try to go 3:30, 3:40. Honestly, I just do them just because. I just like the fact that it's all mental. I like the fact that it's just you out there in your space thinking about the end of the run. It's just you against you. So I'm big on self-evolvement, and running is a good example of that. That's why I like to do it. Always challenging myself.
Strike called on Yelich. It's 2-1.
That's probably what gave me the strength to throw that 317 mile per hour fastball.
Legs, yeah, you got to have your legs under
Your
you to be able to
endurance.
do that.
Yeah. If you look at the way that I was on that mound, got a lot of hip into it. A lot of hip into it. So all the younger kids out there that are into baseball, watch my pitch. Learn a thing or two. You too can throw a 317.
2-1 Milwaukee here in the 7th. Chavez trying to strand Santana at third, and that's ball 4. And Contreras throw to third. It was late. All right, so you're ready to sing. You've got the whole deal down. We'll help cue you and everything as Jim Hickey comes out.
Anything I should be worried about?
No, I told you off the air the key is just low and slow because people tend to rush it a little bit. And
What?
It's got a nice groove to it. So you just
How
follow
much
Gary and you're good.
ad-libbing are you anticipating doing?
Well, the thing about me, I'm a singer. I don't know if you guys have really taken a look at me, but you can obviously see my R&B background. So I'm just going to tone it down a little bit, slow it down, make sure that I keep it appropriate. I ain't going to put too much tune on it. By tune, I mean, hoo, ho, ho. I come from that type of background.
Okay.
Big in gospel in my household. Whoa, ha! A lot of that stuff, but I'm not going to do that today. Keep it a little more at ease. This isn't really
You don't want to show up anybody.
Yeah, no,
Right.
not here. Not here. But if I was, I would give you a thing or two and show you what to do. 317. That's my fastball. Nobody? Nobody knows? Nobody?
I'm going to make a note over here just in case somebody else comes up here and says they got more than that.
Lorenzo Cain, after a visit by the pitching coach, runners at first and third. And a swing and a miss. 0-1.
I'm going to tell you, because I don't know if anybody else has ever told you, you have an amazing voice, man. Goodness.
Thank you.
It's like
Got to hear him sing.
It's like a dove. If a dove could talk, this is what it would sound like. Yeah, that's exactly.
Never been told that.
Yeah,
so I appreciate that.
It's a dove.
One is apparently low. Chavez thought it was a strike.
At least one of the pitches to Yelich appeared to be a ball and was called a strike. And here one on the plate is not. Good numbers for Cain against Chavez, as you see. Yelich certainly capable of running.
Not that one. Cain didn't like it. 1-2. Every pitch matters.
Crowd's getting crazy. They must have seen me up here.
I think so. Yep.
They know. They know.
They got a glimpse at him up here. Soon. Soon. I'm going to sing it soon.
Low, and Yelich will steal second. That is his 18th steal.
I feel somewhat responsible for that steal. Took everybody's attention off the game. They started focusing on me. He saw an opening, took the base.
Two balls, two strikes. Cain has had a huge series. Had 4 hits on Monday. He's got 2 tonight. Cubs trying to keep him close here late. Out into right center, and it is caught. Zobrist with a running grab. Kevin Hart coming up. The 7th inning stretch is presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, actor and comedian Kevin Hart.
All right. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever go back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. It's my part. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game.
Already underway here in the bottom of the 7th. This pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Joaquin Soria already has an out. Wilson Contreras tried to bunt his way on, was thrown out 1-3. And now pinch hitter Victor Caratini takes wide for a ball. Kane line drive looked like trouble, but Zobrist was able to run it down. That would have knocked in 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Crack bat roller. Fades to Soria, 2 down. Hey Cub fans, if you miss any of tonight's action, ABC 7 rebroadcasts its Cubs matchups on the Live Well Network. Tonight's Brewers Cubs Encore will air in its entirety at 11 p.m. on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions. Russell with 2 outs in a 2-1 ball game. Brewers bullpen quiet. They've used Barnes, Knebel, and now Soria. Carl Edwards Jr. heating up in the Cubs pen. Base hit to right. Russell is on. Daniel Murphy. Quiet series. He's due. He is 0 for 10 with a walk in this 3-game series.
A couple of balls sharply in game 1 of the series. An opportunity with a man on third last time and popped up on the infield. Travis Shaw out in shallow right for him. Slow ground ball to the pull side. Pretty good chance it's a knock. Not there though.
Backhanded play, Thames, and that's it for the Cubs in the 7th inning. 2-1 Brewers late.
by Blue Moon. Jesse Chavez gets the fly ball off the bat of the Lorenzo King. Ben Zober said to run it down. Brewed with Valencia orange peel for a taste that shines brighter.
Here's Carl Edwards Jr. facing Travis Shaw. Well, the Cubs down a run. The bullpen has not given up anything. Rosario and Chavez with scoreless innings after Kyle Hendricks went 5.
Good pitch.
Up and in. So Contreras now playing left. Bryant third, Baez short, Caratini catch. I was talking with Jim Hickey the other day about Carl. You know, he's got some different leg kicks and things he does. He said, you know, ideally he could kind of simplify it and stick with one. He's just trying to find the right thing right now, and you can understand why he would be searching. But the other point is he doesn't get hit. So almost all the time he gets in trouble, it's wild pitches and walks. Hit down the line and foul to right.
Yeah, so it's typically, you know, high drama in a high leverage situation because of the walks, but you're right, he doesn't give up much hard contact at all. His stuff is just lights out. The spin and the action on the four-seam fastball.
There's the walk.
But that becomes the challenge if you're Joe and he's going through a rough patch as he is now. How long do you trust his ability to rein it in?
And if you look at the Cubs bullpen, and Brandon Morrow did throw off the bullpen mound again today. He's still not close to returning. Jim Hickey out to the mound. You know, all these bullpens, JD, have stuff, right? Everybody's got stuff. If you look at the Cubs bullpen, the two guys with the best stuff outside of Morrow are Wilson and Edwards. And Justin is really locked in right now, but he had some issues commanding his fastball before he got it locked in. Edwards is the other guy, so I think those two guys, you could argue, are the most important guys in that bullpen.
Right, especially when you look big picture, you know, finishing out the season, getting into the postseason, advancing. Yeah, you'd like to have those big arms on top of their game where you can just keep the ball out of play. A lot of strikeouts late because you know the randomness of balls in play. If you don't have a strikeout bullpen, you're asking for trouble. So you know you've got to be able to rely on the likes of Edwards and Wilson.
Stockus fouls out of play.
MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Foul to Carlos Subero, the Brewers' first base coach. He's got the best hair in the league, I think, as a base coach.
Might not even be close. But that didn't show up on Baseball America's Best Tools survey.
Best first base coach hair. High to Moustakas.
Speaking of hair, both in terms of what's on his head and the life on his fastball, Josh Hader.
2-1 Milwaukee. Brewers batting in the 8th. The pitch. Popped up. Rise lets it drop, and he'll get shot second. Moustakis kind of jogged down the line, but there wasn't anybody down there except Caratini. And Javi essentially swaps out Shaw for Moustakis.
It's a low risk play, right?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't hit the mound and kick away.
Yeah, just kind of read it, and you know, you're tracking that ball. Maybe you're hoping that the base runner, the guy who hit the pop up, peels off and heads towards the dugout.
I think the biggest thing was Shaw was basically standing on the bag at first, so he knew he had an out at second.
Yeah, the ball in the middle of the infield like that, there's nowhere for the base runner to go. You're not going to go halfway.
The biggest thing is make sure your infielders around you know that you're going to do that so that you have coverage, and he did.
Yeah, Shaw's making sure that he's telling Moustakis, make sure you keep coming.
One strike pitch to Perez, swing and a miss. That's that four-seam naturally cutting fastball.
He's got such long arms, long loose delivery, long fingers, imparts a lot of backspin on that ball, and I believe I read he has the fastest spin rate in the game on his four-seam fastball. Tendency to swing under it, swing and miss, or pop it up.
If it's happening in Chicago, you know Ryan Cheverini and Val Warner will be talking about it. Watch Windy City live tomorrow at 1 p.m. on ABC 7.
Perhaps they'll be talking about a big Cub come from behind W. She'll take a 3-game lead in the NL Central. 2-3-4 due up for the Cubs in the bottom of the inning.
Thames hooks one to right. That's going to drop. We'll get Moustakis to third.
That's just bad luck. That was a nasty pitch, a late cutting action in on the hands. Thames is so strong. A flick of the wrist, and he was able to fight this pitch off. Look at the late action moving in on Thames. Kind of an emergency, pull the hands in, try to get the barrel to it any way possible, and that's just brilliant hitting and a tough break for Edwards.
That'll be it for Carl. Joe has Steve Cishek ready, and he will come in to face Manny Pena with runners at first and third. Milwaukee 2. Cubs 1. We'll be back in the 8th. Runs on Duncan. Big bullpens, big benches. So it's Steve Cishek and Manny Pena lifted for Jesus Aguilar. First and third, 2 outs, 2-1 Milwaukee.
The primary reason Joe made this change now is fearful of the wild pitch with the man on third with the Edwards curveball. So Cishek gets Aguilar here in a big moment.
A wide one on a fastball. I showed you the numbers early. Aguilar has really struggled against Cubs pitching this year.
He was really something off the bench last year for Milwaukee. This year, playing almost every day. He's not had that many opportunities off the bench. 2 out of 14 as a pinch hitter this season.
Moustakas is at third. Thames at first. Steve ready for a 2-1. Swing and a miss on the slider. Caratini with a nice play.
Well, I guess so.
Wow. 3-2. Hate to give up a run like that. In fact, the game-winning run Monday scored on a wild pitch.
I wasn't sure he had it.
Go time for Thames from first. Pitch by Cishek. He got him on the slider. And the Brewers do not score. It's still a 2-1 game, middle of the 8th.
Game presented by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Curtis Granderson starts the ball game not once but twice, walking the tightrope and then falling back into play for a triple upon review. Chris Bryant just misses his first home run since coming off the disabled list. He gets the tape the top of the basket. Anderson came around to score. Bryant's double plated the Cubs' only run, and now Josh Hader comes on for the Brewers with a 2.08 ERA.
Saw a lot of that the other night.
Yep, he was going 94 to 97 with elevated fastballs, inducing one swing and a miss after another as he struck out all 6 men he faced in 2 innings of scoreless ball.
Kratz not catching. Shaw first. Perez second. Arcia short. 0-2 on Bryant. Outfield the same. Yelich, Kane, Granderson. Left, center, right.
It was Bodie, Russell, Murphy, KB, Riz, and Baez, and Hader got them all.
He strikes out Bryant, so he's faced 7 and fanned them all. It is a single season club record now with 128 strikeouts by a reliever. 24 pitches to strike out 6 in game 1.
It's easy to say don't swing at it, but you see it come out of the hand, you see it well, you think you're going to be able to get to it. We talked about the Cubs not having a big strikeout bullpen. That's a real strength of the Brewers.
Strike to Rizzo, who homered off Hader last week in Milwaukee. So 1 swing ball game. 2-1 Brewers, 8th inning. Runs came early for the visitors, 1st and 3rd. Cubs got theirs in the 5th.
Home run that Anthony hit, the only home run a left-handed batter has hit off Hader as a big leaguer.
Fouled away. It's 1-2. Cubs trying to push the Brewers to 3 games back and get their magic number down to 14. The Brewers looking to win their 7th consecutive series and leave town down just 1 in the Central. Stakes are high. 2 down.
Now, when we saw Hader earlier this year, he wasn't throwing 98. I mean, he had a good heater, but it's turbocharged right now. Left-handed batters against Hader coming into this performance, 7 hits and 80 at-bats. That's an .088 batting average.
Hard to make Ben Zobrist have an awkward swing. And he's gearing up for heat, and he got a slider at 83.
Yeah, that the Baseball America survey we were talking about earlier, I believe Hader was rated as the best relief pitcher in the National League.
Here's his 0-2. Zobrist with a line drive base hit on an 0-2 pitch.
He's had good swings all night long. Deep fly out first time up. Line drive to right.
Would you consider Terrence Gore here to run?
Absolutely.
Baez will bat.
have to consider it. You don't have to do it. Joe might be trying to keep his powder dry to the ninth. Maybe, with a right-hander on the mound, might feel like he can get a good jump against Hader. So you have one of the best heaters in the game against elite bat speed and tremendous power. One of these days, Baez is going to catch up to one of those, and it's going to go 500 feet. This would be as good a time as any.
He has a flair for the dramatic as he bats for the tying run on base, 8th inning. 0-2. Typically doesn't take a whole lot of time either. He gets the ball back and he's ready to work. Off the inside corner. Cubs got one on their bullpen. That was charged to Barnes in the 5th inning. Starter Anderson with 4 scoreless. Swing and a miss. 3 more punch outs for Hader, and that will take us into the 9th. 2-1 Brewers. Orlando Arcia bounds to Chris Bryant, Steve Cishek at the final out of the 8th. And one away here in the 9th. Granderson coming up. Cubs will shift to the right on the infield against him. They'll move Baez over between Rizzo and Murphy. backdoor breaking ball on the outside corner. High fly out in the center. It's deep. Almora's back on the warning track, and it's gone. He's done it again. Curtis Granderson has had a night. Triple, single, walk, ground out, home run for a guy who hasn't started a whole lot with the Brewers.
Drives himself in. He has scored all 3 of their runs tonight. Home run ball has bitten Steve a little bit here in recent outings.
So the first home run of the night for either team. Granderson has hit 2 as a Brewer. Both have been against the Cubs. And a 3-1 Milwaukee lead. And that will bring Joe Madden out. So pitching change here in the 9th. A huge insurance run for the Brewers. We'll be right back. With you wherever you go. Get the ABC 7 Chicago News app today. Here's Brandon Kinsler, the ground ball man. He will face Christian Yelich. He is a former Brewer.
Pitcher number 6 for the Cubs tonight. He is working for the 64th time, a 4.45 ERA for Kinsler. Brandon as a Cub, this is his 19th appearance, 14 innings, ERA 7.07. Going up a lot of traffic, 22 hits, 7 walks in those 14 innings.
So Kinsler hits Yelich. Yelich not real happy about it.
I think he's trying to throw that two-seamer and just overcooked it. I don't think there was anything nefarious there. Pennant race, 2-run ball game in the 9th inning. You're not going to hit anybody on purpose.
So
after the sting goes away, Yelich will realize that.
Chicago native Curtis Granderson had one previous home run in this ballpark. And of course, most of his career has been in the American League. It was in 2006 as a Detroit Tiger. It was off Mark Pryor. I remember a series here. I think there was a game in which the Tigers hit like 7 or 8 home runs. It must have been one of those days with the wind howling out here at Wrigley. Yelich got a pretty good jump, and he steals second. It's his second steal tonight.
The first one was uncontested, a first and third situation back in the 7th. 19 out of 23 on the season.
Two strikes on Kane.
Ryan Dunsing is up in the Cubs bullpen. Jeremy Jeffress getting ready in the Brewer pen.
Chopped off the plate, foul. Ballpark very quiet after that Granderson home run. Kinsler from the stretch with an 0-2 pitch. That moves Kane off the plate. Jeremy Jeffress up in their bullpen. I would assume it will be Jeffress in the 9th, not Hader. Heater is outside, 2-2. Low scoring games. 3-2, 3-0, 3-1. That's in. Yelich to third, and he's going to be stopped. And a good throw back in by Zobrist. Kane with another 3-hit game. He had 4 on Monday. 1 for 4 last night.
And Zobrist had to make a nice running catch on him last time up, or he'd have 4. This is just good hitting again. Quiet lower body, throws the head of the bat at the ball. Punches this line drive the other way. Yelich reads line drive, has to freeze, otherwise he scores.
That brings up Travis Shaw, who's now playing first base. He's played 3 defensive spots in the series, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Bryant in. Baez near the bag at 2nd. Kane runs, and he'll get it without a throw. Kane with his 27th steal. That takes the double play chance away, and now the Cubs will have to bring everybody in.
Go ahead and put him on and try to get the 2 ball from Moustakas.
Three balls, no strikes. And the bases are loaded.
So he's going to go get Dunsing.
Here comes the lefty. Bases loaded. 3-1 Milwaukee.
Comcast Business, built for business. What's going on in the MLB this year? On pace for 5,603 home runs. That's over 500 less than last season's record. Bunch of punch outs, though. That continues to go up year after year. 41,000 and change is the pace. And the stolen base is not completely gone, but not a big part of the game anymore.
There's Brian Dunsing, and he'll work to Mike Moustakas with the bases loaded, 1 out, a run in on the earlier home run by Granderson. Brewers lead 3-1. Ball 1. Seventh pitcher used by the Cubs tonight.
A tough go for Brian this year, including a long stay on the disabled list.
Toward the hole and through. 2 runs will come in. Yelich followed by Kane. Mike Moustakas makes it 5-1.
The Brewers doing tonight what they have not been able to do in a lot of the games in this series this year is play add-on late. He's got a number of the patrons heading to the exits.
First and second for Perez. They're playing second. At the end of the bat, and that is Contreras from left to make the catch. So Wilson can stretch his legs out a bit, playing some outfield here to win this game. Craig Counsell out chatting with the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer. Ryan Braun will pinch hit. The question is, why did he come out to talk to Corey Blazer?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Lineup question.
pinch hitting for Milwaukee, number 8, Ryan Braun.
Again, this would be a good reason to mic up the MLB umpires so they can give us an explanation of what they're talking about.
I think what it was, it might have been the earlier changes the Brewers made. The right field board lists the lineups, and I think they've had Kratz in like 3 different spots, but he's apparently in the 8th spot, not the 7th. The pitcher spot is the 7th, so that's probably the clarification.
Keep managing here, yeah, with Braun being announced. He's going to bring in James Norwood.
We've got another change. We'll be right back. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Lakeside Bank. Personal customized banking. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. By Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. And by Mattress Firm. Go to mattressfirm.com to see how far your budget can stretch. That's rookie James Norwood. He will make his 8th appearance, and he will face Ryan Braun.
James had a real nice year down in the minor leagues this year, splitting time between AA and AAA. Got a big arm, upper 90s fastball.
Outside ball 1.
He's from the Bronx and pitched collegiately at St. Louis University.
On with a fly ball to right. Zobrist has it. And finally the ninth ends for Milwaukee, but the Brewers add 3 big runs. It's 5-1.
Advanced technology only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Save situation taken away as the Brewers added the 3 runs. So Jeremy Jeffress will try to close it out in a non-save spot. It's 5-1.
He did pick up the save on Monday in game 1 of this series. He has 11 saves and 16 tries.
Inside to Almora.
Craig Counsell had a plan. He got the early lead. He pulled the plug on Chase Anderson after 4, despite Anderson pitching scoreless ball through 4, turned it over to his talented bullpen, and they have been lights out. Jacob Barnes allowed the run in the 3rd of an inning, but Knebel, Soria, Hader shutting down the Cubs, and now Jefferson to finish it off.
Line right to Moustakas.
That was kind of the theme early in the ball game. Cubs get into some tough luck early on. A lot of hard contact, went for outs.
Rizzo lined out in the 1st. Russell in the 2nd. Zobrist in the 3rd. Baez in the 4th. Now Almora in the 9th. Still have to plow through the next week before their only off day remaining. which will be a week from tomorrow after a late return from Arizona. One and one. So day game tomorrow. 3:05 first pitch in DC. That's Chicago time. Cubs will head back home. Friday's game will start at 7:05, not 1:20. Cubs have pushed back the start time against the Reds for game one this weekend. 1-2 on Contreras.
Mike Montgomery will pitch in Washington tomorrow. Over the weekend, it'll be Hamels, Lester, Quintana.
Joe Ross will make officially his 2018 debut. He actually pitched against the Cubs Friday, but that game got washed out after it was stopped in the top of the second. Called third. Contreras is retired. Cubs down to their final chance, and it will be Caratini.
Cubs haven't lost a series here at home in a good while. Late May, a 2-game set. They dropped to the Indians.
Lined and caught, and that'll do it.
Fitting, I guess.
Yep, Arcia snags that hot liner off the bat of Caratini, and the Brewers come to town and take 2 out of 3. And over the last 2 weeks, take 4 of 6 from the Cubs to get to within 1 of the division lead. Final score 5-1 Brewers. And we'll take a break and have more from Wrigley Field after this.